Hello. My name is Glen. I work with Farmers and Merchants Seed, and we sell fencing material. We don't only sell the electric fences and stuff, but we got to put up that. But we sell grasses and pasture management. And pasture management is what I want to focus on in this video, and putting up fences and stuff. I avoid systems because systems don't work because of the nature. Systems has to be in a controlled environment, and as we realize now, global warming and geoengineering and all the issues that we have to deal with nature, we do not have a controlled environment. It's out of control, and we have to deal with things. This pasture fence and this pasture is very special for me because in 1983 this is where I started farming on this farm when I was 21 years old. I rented the building over there to keep my equipment in. I started from scratch right here. So anyhow, this farm here is important. There's only 10 acres left to it, and we have this pasture, and this is basically all this ground can do. As you go down there, there's what we call a branch that goes into a silver creek. We've had 9, 10, 12-inch rains here in the last 8 years. Extreme rains, and now this year this creek's been out about 4 or 5 times already, and sometimes a couple severe. So the water's been over this low spot here. There's nice hills on the other side. I run another farm over there that's been with me as well for over 35 years. And that's where I did one of the CBS World News television interviews on top of that hill. And my alfalfa died. I re-sowed it over, and I used winter rye as a cover crop because I didn't want the hills to wash. And anyhow, long and the short of it is, it rained 7 or 8 inches, took all the hay out and caught on the barbed wire fence and pulled it out, and I redone it. When I bought my farm that we live on, it had pasture. It needed new fences. Don't like chasing cattle. And I bought a post driver. It's a high and heavy hitter. Over there, we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm dressed for the environment. Forgive me, people, my fingers are big. I can't type, so don't expect me. I do some voice on my emails and stuff, or if I do reply back on any emails or YouTube videos and stuff. I'm really wanting to know here right now, we're going to try to make these YouTube videos be counted here on it. We've been doing it off and on for about 2 or 3 years. I'm doing this for a main reason, as a reference to look back so my kids can see what I did when they was busy in school or whatever there. And I'm trying to help people because it's kind of like history in the making. We're dealing with severe weather change, and it's unfortunate history we got to deal with. And being a farmer here, and we've got the issue of some people blaming these cows for global warming. God made these cows, and I guarantee you it has nothing to do with global warming. What happens with global warming today was created by industry creating systems. Systems have to be a controlled environment, so when somebody's controlling the environment, they're messing it up. There's a lot of ways to work pasture, and everybody's got to be different on their pasture because it depends on where they're living and their environment. So what works here or there or whatever. Most ranchers, most farmers figure this out on their own. Give them a break, let them do it. And what I'm trying to do is teach a little bit of safety here with my equipment. So this is kind of a learning thing to be safe with a post dryer. Common sense things that nobody teaches in school anymore. Putting up a fence. These kids don't get to see this, and I'm trying to do it. So forgive me, I'm going to be putting a lot of information in these videos as much as part. And this will be part 1 of pasture management. I will not use the word system because systems don't work in pastures as far as my experience. How much experience have I got? I've been walking up pasture since the age of 5. I'll tell you some stories that I had bad experiences or good experiences with livestock and cattle and different things. So my point here is we need to get grass to the cows. That's what cows do. We got a registered Black Angus herd. We don't really have them all registered because you're going to eat it. So you're not going to eat the paperwork that they're full-blood registered cattle on that. And I'm also changing some of my breeding stock to Red Angus because the heat is so intense. It's hard on a Black Angus bull when the heat changes this much or whatever. This is the first time it's been dry for 2 weeks that we can get in here and work. It's been flooded and that, so some stuff has grown up. What I did here, this is an old wooden fence, and I got Lisa here in the background. She does my website stuff, and she's the main one helping on this. But I put new posts in here and put these boards back on here. And these are 10-foot long lodge pile poles, and they're supposed to have tighter grooves and last longer. The biggest thing with a post driver is you need really straight posts. You also, as you got experience, you can learn how to take some crooked ones and drive them straight. And I'll try to show this as we go, but as soon as I get done here, I got to take the post driver off of this tractor and go back to putting up hay. And so then we use that tractor to rake with and also to pick up and load the bale. One of the reasons the fences broke down, these are landscape timbers, and they look like they'd make great fence posts, and that's what he did, but they rotted off at the ground. And what we had is a great big storm. It came through here and broke it down, and there's a way to fix fence posts, fences that broke down like this. We could drive this in the ground and pull it up, and that'll get you by. But as the fence kept leaning over, worse as it gets, having cattle here, stuff happens, you know. And this is what I talk about management. You need to know about your cows that you're going to put there. You need to think about down the road. And you know, here's some weird stuff and maybe some people need to know about. This is popeberry. It's poisonous. Normally cattle will not eat these berries because they're smarter than we are. But they could eat them if you would bale them up in the hay or something like that. And basically it would make them sick. Will it kill them? I don't know for sure. On it. It's not like black nightshade that will kill them. Black nightshade is a berry similar to this, and that is definitely deadly to all livestock. But it comes in, I want to bring up black nightshade because I had issues with it. Wherever you got a telephone line or a fence post or a wire, these crazy birds will eat this and spread it. They also spread this other thing here. That's Thorny Locust, and these are evil things for tires and everything out here, and I'm going to bring that issue up again. But I read on the when I don't know something, I'm like the rest of you. I look up on Google and it says if you eat them it'll make you terribly sick and you can throw up and have bloody whatever, and so basically don't eat the damn things. And but that's how they grow into this area. This other thing here is the Canadian thistle that was sprayed with 2,4-D. It's a noxious weed, and to try to eliminate it, and they stick to your finger like that, and it does hurt. Owie. And go from there. So my game plan here is to explain the post driver. And the biggest thing about the post driver here, being on it, I'm going to grab my handy dandy electric skill saw here while I get over there to it. Big thing about working with equipment, I keep telling my kids I was a crane operator, is always look up. And even look up if you're not a crane operator. You're going into a place, pay attention to your environment constantly. You'll be looking around. I was a helicopter pilot. My instructor said put your head on a swivel. And I use that constantly on all the equipment that I operate. The shit does happen. You know, you back into a car or a building with a combine. Yeah, I did that. We got these low wires that can catch on the loader tractor and stuff like that. And so what we started here is I got fence posts from each, and I used a regular electric wire. Here is my gauge where I should be to keep it somewhat tight. And since it's uneven, I go ahead and use my post. But I guess my game plan is being in there. Lisa, let me have that camera for a second. Forgive me, everybody, but we're going to do a little close-up up there. That building there's got a door on it, and the fence was on the other side. And I like to keep fences straight, tight, neat. And as you can see, there's a dip there.
Insects are going after me.
Lisa's got an insect. anyhow, we're going to have to compensate with the posts. What I've got is 8-foot posts here that I used from Rule King to save money, but I got bigger ones in diameter so they didn't rot off as quick. They probably last here for 30 or 40 years, I hope. And anyhow, on the bottom of this driver where my foot is, that's where this would go down, and that would give plenty of depth that's preset. So I'm going to have all my posts go down as low as the driver goes. If you're doing taller posts or other things with your fence to do other things with, you might want to have a measuring stick to hold of the height of it. That's another way we did it. We had a stick up here and we had lines marked where we was going to put the steeples and the netting and stuff like that. We're going to go with a netting fence because we want it strong. I also don't want, in case the grandkids come out here in the future, they don't have any, but I'm thinking ahead, you know, and I don't want them to be touching electric wire. I think by having a netting fence out here, you can see through the netting, you can see more of the pasture, and the wind will blow right through that netting and it won't blow these boards off and have to be redone. At the time, it was nice when it was new. It made the place look good, but as time goes by, the weather has made these posts rot faster, and the storms have pushed them over. So I got this Stihl chainsaw, and I'm going to give the phone back to Lisa because that's why I got her out here. You've got to think about safety, and I can't do this video and run this equipment holding this phone and or not phone, but camera. But I got an electric chainsaw, and we push it forward, and it's still. And you can check the battery to make sure it's working.
We're at 13 minutes.
Okay. Okay, we got this done here. And the reason I want to get rid of this is one of the things, you don't want to get yourself in a corner. If I have to get out, I don't want to get hit in the eye with one of them thorns here that you can see. Ouch.
Oh, don't pick it up.
Ouch. How bad they are. So I'm going to get them out of here and give an escape route to you there. Up there I had to drive a fence post, so I took the fence out so I could get away with it. So I'm going to show how we set this up. We've got the driver that goes in here. We've got what we call the hugger that holds the post in place. The way I set this up after I got it, and what works great with this, I can level this out with these controls, forward and back. So I measure it here, I measure it here. I get my driver straight somewhat with the post. So I kind of put this in there, throw the post in here. I put the hugger in here snug to hold the post, line this up. Then I go out here and I measure, not measure, but level these posts. Even though they might be level or not be level, you got to go quite a ways here. So there's two places, one on each side, like that. And I kind of go quite a bit. Now if you got a crooked post at one end, put the crooked part down at the end of the post and line it up here. It'll drive in. The other thing with a post driver, try to get over a place where there wasn't a fence before, because like this brush comes up or there's roots underneath it. If there's a root in the ground and it hits it, it can move that post and that part of it. Another thing, have safety glasses on. My conventional glasses has got safety glasses in it because some of that piece can fall off. If the ground is super duper hard, you can break these posts. And so on that part of it. But we got this driver. One thing you don't want to do is raise this thing up and stand underneath of it and have somebody hook it with a fence post or wire and drop it on your head. You don't want your hand up here between that. You never put it there. You need to be out of the way to run this thing there and keeping everything in visual. This runs off a hydraulic. It's an independent system. And I'm going to start it up and show how this is working, and we'll go from there on it. But as you can see, when you're working in this stuff, you could have nice clothes and you'll tear them up. I do have better clothes, but I got a friend who has a video on television. It's 5110 Winchester lever action guns, and he's taking his clothes and shooting bullets to see how it, and I went back and teased him on it. I said, damn, I got so many holes in my clothes, you can't use mine for bullet holes. And I enjoy his videos. The other thing of it is, it's part of my pasture management. When I get a chance, I walk around in the pasture with a rifle, just to be walking out there, and if I see a coyote that's eating my calf, I got him. And these coyotes are terribly bad. We've lost 5 of them out here, and some other issues will be different stories. And that's why I say pasture management, not systems. So I'm managing this over. So this was thought up already 3-4 years in advance, and it's just now getting a chance to work on it. Due to the weather flooding these out, we got to get in there. So we're going to have some other videos of it, and this is part 1 of it. I also, you know, if you people like it, let us know, because we're going to go through this system. It'll be on our website so people understand how to well use our electric fencing with this, because we're going to put electric wire on it to protect this fence. It's a major investment. It costs money. These posts are about 12 bucks a piece. That spool of wire over there is about $220 there. It's not the real most expensive. We bought it at Rural King. I bought the fence posts at Rural King, and the main reason I did, we don't need too many of them, and I used to get trailer loads of the lodge pine here, and they're supposed to have a 30-year warranty on them, and I've had some of them now. It broke off at the ground, and I was managed to get this, but I do like high tensile netting, but we only got a short run there, and so we're not going to be able to utilize that. The high tensile fencing and wiring is great for long distances, and we don't really want to put electric high tensile wire. I did put a high tensile electric wire over there because barbed wire caught all the hay on the field and pulled the fence down. So one thing for sure now, in the last 10, 12 floods in the last 4 or 5 years here, the stuff going across the road did not catch on the high tensile wire fence. It stood the flood. And so that's a proven thing over there. So forgive me for taking a lot of time. I'm going to start this tractor up, positioning. It works better when there's 2 people to operate it, and you should have somebody else around in case something happens. Their safety requires 2 people. It's nice to keep somebody in there if you got it lined up. It's safer than an auger. I really like this because you can get in these positions here and drive it level on it, because we got self-leveling. And you know, digging by hand is a lot of work, but you know, you got to do what you got to do. We did it all by hand years ago. So I'm going to start the tractor up.
Glen, we're at 19 minutes. You want me to do another?
Going.
All right.
shut the quick bounce off. Two things you can do with this that happen. Get two small nails and nail it back on the post or throw it away. I'll set it here and I'll think about it. Got a couple more drives. I watch pick out a knot or something on the post over here. Make sure it's going down. And we're following the contour being down. has already been out here. I've checked it out on my own here. But if you're going next to right-of-ways and stuff, underground water lines, electric power cables, telephone lines, you cut off a major